Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17,
And Greyshot151 here.
and we're here to bring you a movie review for a movie called Life, which,
Yes.
just like Epic and every other film, is so generic.
In its title,
Yes.
yeah. You couldn't have called this, like, First Contact, or, I mean, yes, that name has been used before.
Contact has been used, not
Yeah.
First but what I'm just saying is Life is just so generic of a title. We're not even talking about the film. Anyway, yeah, we saw Life, and is it good? Yes, half of it. And
so
the last
one might say it's life and then less.
Some would. So the first half is, I would say, good.
Yeah, the
like
first
in some
half is
parts
solid.
even great. The second half
is where it kind of nose bombs.
Oh my god!
And when I mean nosedives, I mean the original Alien. This is going to be compared to the original Alien.
Yep.
To
Gravity.
Or Gravity.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is kind of like a good fusion of the two, honestly.
Yeah.
Only problem is Alien's ending. There was a build up, and the character moments. When everyone splits up and the creature kills everyone in the original Alien, spoilers.
Yeah.
It feels kind of well deserved because they don't know about the alien. So this thing is able to slaughter everyone because they don't know. The problem with this movie is they know what they're dealing with, but they almost seem to lose. They almost seem to become dumber as the movie goes on.
That's the big problem. These guys are expert scientists. Even like
I get they're human, but still.
So like 5 people can take my job. So five people got Ryan Reynolds' job. One person has his job. One person in the world can have his job. And he's the smartest man we got.
And he doesn't notice. By the way, so
oh no, we're not going to go into spoiler, but he makes some real stupid decisions.
Or it's things you would think someone would notice, especially with some of these people have different conditions. Like one has astropy, like they're just basically space weariness, where essentially your muscles start to shrink and whatnot.
Yeah. But anyway,
or another one doesn't have like these characters are different, but the other problem is they're not developed to some of them work a little bit well.
Yeah.
But some of them are just so bland that you forget, like, who are you again? Like, I really don't remember you.
Like, this person's this person. This person's this guy. And even, like, Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal, which, again, you've seen in respective movies. And, again, the rest of the cast, you've seen that it's hard to differentiate them from the actor and just a character.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, they have some nice, like,
some good banter and stuff, yeah. The other... So... Would we recommend this movie? I think we should just go into that before spoilers.
Okay, yeah.
So, would we recommend it? If you are a fan of sci-fi, if you really are interested in it, then the first half is probably going to be awesome for you. Just hold your breath for the second.
If you are looking for a monster film, go see Kong Skull Island.
Yes, yeah, I would highly recommend that over this.
If you are looking for a hardcore sci-fi film, go see Gravity.
Heck, right now in theaters, I honestly was kind of sad that I didn't go to see
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers, yeah, which is like, you want to see Power Rangers? It's like, honestly, at the end of this movie, I was like, I wanted to go to any. It kind of ruined the experience. A bad ending or a good ending can make
a bad half. Again, like we said, the second half is where it falters.
Yeah, it can put a bad taste in your mouth. So you can have a fantastic salad, but when you have a horrible main course, it can just ruin everything. So that's my note. This movie is lifeless. The first half, you have plenty of life, and then the second half, it just falls over.
Yeah.
I keep saying this because you are going to use that as the title. It's great. Lifeless? Question mark? Greyshot Productions review.
What? You want just great. But yes, do we recommend this? Go see anything else if you are desperate to see sci-fi.
If you really want to see it, go see it. Any case, spoiler warning.
Oh boy.
Oh my god. Okay, so again, first half.
Wait. I want to talk.
Okay.
So first off, they're not afraid to kill people in this movie.
No, God no, and their ways are creative.
Yeah. That's the first half are creative. The second half, you're like, okay, that thing just murdered people, and then it doesn't, but it does, and that's like the biggest issue with this film is the actual creature. The creature has no boundaries, no rules. Whatever it wants, it can do. If it can go in space, it can go into space. If it can drink coolant that is toxic to organisms, it can do that just fine. If it can somehow survive in a extremely cold environment with no air for God knows how long, it can do that. If it can somehow be strong enough in a tiny form to crush a man's hand, but flip that around, it is so weak that a man is able to fight it one-on-one and somehow hold it off.
When it's bigger. When it's like 100 times bigger.
Instead of this, it's this.
I feel offended somehow.
Yeah, and then also, the ending of this film of how, again, smart this creature is, it just blows logic out the window. And it's like, this movie's hammering, this is real, and you're like, this is bullshit.
Okay, so the first half works in a sense because they first have the creature under containment.
Yes.
They have, essentially, they're studying it, and yeah, the guy breaks his hand, it breaks out of quarantine.
They study it, they get more, and it's actually cool. They have like a really cool like live chat with Earth, and that is a really cool scene.
The only problem is as it's evolving almost, it becomes less.
They set
and
up
less...
rules for it, like it's this,
but then they break those rules almost,
exactly,
because this thing can be anything at once.
Yeah, and
first off, it's a single-celled organism.
Yep,
but yet it
that can do anything. It can be a muscle, it can be a brain, and they state that.
Yes, but the problem is it turns into a creature. If this is a single-celled organism, I was expecting the Blob in space. That's honestly what I went into this movie thinking.
There's parts where it's like, you can see, like, again, you can see a little thing, it's like maneuvering, it's like that. Like, okay, that's cool. It has senses. But then eventually it gets to the point where it's a creature and it develops eyes and everything. I'm like, wait, so could it not see before? If so,
how just super eyes? Like, the other note is, it also says that this thing has...
And even when it was getting bigger, the sight of it stayed the same. So it's not getting better with vision, but it's not getting worse. Like,
the other note I have with this movie is this thing, if it was on Earth, would probably be no problem. The reason why I say this is because, yes, it would probably be a pain to kill, but it would be on Earth. The thing with this thing is it's in space. It's jumping around. It's going because it has no gravity.
Yeah.
This thing would be, if it was on Earth, would literally be nothing more than annoyance.
Yeah.
Because it would, the gravity on Earth is far greater than that of Mars.
Yeah.
Far greater. The atmosphere is far different.
Also, by the way, I'm sorry. Also, they show parts where it eats by dissolving things.
Never brought up again.
And yeah, then it's like, never brought up again. What does it do? It, like, just... I don't know what they call it. It absorbs people, sort of, kind of, not really. Like, it'll take some parts of people, but not others. It wants food, but it doesn't. These are, like, the logical things in a movie where, like, especially heavy sci-fi, you have to set up.
Connect that back to Alien, which is why I make note this is why Alien is a classic and this movie's not. The alien creature system is very simplistic. Yeah. And in that regard is that the egg attacks the host, it becomes it's a parasitic life form.
Yep.
It basically comes out, and just on the first Alien movie alone, it just becomes human-like to some ability, but it's still its own creature.
Yeah. You
could kill it. Like, it was smart, yes.
Oh, by the way, again, with your opinion, do the creature effects hold up in this film?
Yeah, I liked seeing this thing.
Yeah, the effects were good in this film.
All the effects are good. Like, this is a solid, well-put-together
sound design
movie.
Except for the final 30 seconds where
oh my god.
Yeah, over and over.
And just as annoying. Just as annoying.
It's like the Dark Knight, and like some guy's like, I like that sound. I like that sound.
It's like someone saw the Dark Knight and Inception and were like, oh my god, just copy Hans Zimmer. Just play that note.
You know what? We're gonna audio gain this sucker. We're gonna shoot up to 100, and that's it. We're just gonna play that music about 30 times, about that same bah, but in the last a couple minutes, and we're gonna play it as loud as possible so you can barely hear what people are saying.
The other problem is, like, the amount of... Again, this thing...
Are you cool? Are you freaked out yet?
There are a lot of... Again, the first half, people make kind of common sense things. The entire second half could be avoided entirely.
Yes.
Because they
few logical steps.
They literally stopped the creature. They literally had the creature trapped. It can't move.
Yep.
And there's a guy who's in a spot.
Yep.
It's a hard... He basically hid there.
Yep.
And instead of getting back to that guy, because they know where he is, they have his tracker.
Yep.
Instead of going to get him and tell him what's going on, they go back to the control room for a few minutes.
Yep.
And then they see the people coming. It's like, go get the guy.
Also,
seriously.
Wait. I love that entire time they're planning on somehow killing it, but the crew member knows that they can just shoot it into space. So there's no point in half the people, if not more, dying because... They literally have a plan to deal with it that is coming. That would have worked. That would have been fine if they followed protocol. And it's not like, well, Greyshot... Oh, by the way, they cut off communication. how this thing somehow made
after it first breaks out.
Yes, it immediately cuts off communication. You're like, man, this thing's smart, but then it can't figure out how to open like
a door
or hatches or anything. I'm like, wait, so this thing is smart enough to knock out a communication system, but it's dumb enough it can't open a door.
Yeah, it's also apparently smart enough to realize it's going to re-entry,
yeah,
not going into deep space. It's like,
yeah.
How?
Yes, this thing is apparently smart enough to know it's going into space to, I swear to God I'm not making this up, to either A, somehow manually fly it back down. A creature that, again,
has no prior experience. Like, if this thing was this smart...
Or set automation back on. One of the two things happened, because it very amazingly flies down to space, flies down
to Earth, yeah.
Yeah, and it does a switch, by the way, spoiler, where instead of they're usually in a horror movie, the female lives. Guess what? Female's going into space, and now the guy who has sacrificed himself is now on Earth with this thing, which, by the way, they end it with this, like, in the middle of the ocean, kind of, again, similar to Gravity, where it's in a body of water. People come over to it, hey, so like, hey, what's going on? They see this, like, ooze and everything in there, and Jake Gyllenhaal's like, no, but of course they don't understand him. But that's the thing. It didn't kill Jake Gyllenhaal. Literally 10 minutes earlier, if not further, it massacred a bunch of Russians that they sent onto the space shuttle.
Just for showing up.
Just for showing up. These guys are like, yeah, you can hear them yelling, and it's just cutting off limbs. You see blood going everywhere. And of course, like, one of the crew members on there just happens to, like, just use that and just, like, bounce himself away. But it's just like, wait, so why did it kill them? Why did it not kill them? What is going on? Like,
I guess the guy was trying to get into the craft to get away.
Yeah.
And the thing was in there. The only problem is...
Oh, and explosive decompression. This thing is strong enough. It can go up, explosive decompression, into space and grab someone else. And then that guy fights it. They both go out. And this thing is strong enough to then, again, climb its way back up while the two people, again, manage to get into safety and stay in the ship as parts of it are flying out from explosive decompression.
Again, this movie is... It doesn't set rules, and it just does whatever it wants. Like, it does... The movie just goes. Like, if this thing was actually realistic, they shoot fire at it.
I forgot my best part. I forgot the best part of the film. And again, it's your best part. Apparently, this thing is so sneaky, it's able to go up someone's leg.
Oh, yeah.
Like the fucking blob. And it's not like, oh, it's when it's tiny. No, this thing's the size of a person at this point. In their leg.
And no one notices, like, moving.
Yeah.
That's why when I thought...
And the pants is zipped. It's clear. There's no cuts. There's nothing. They have to, again, take off the pants.
How'd it get in there?
How the fuck did it? And it gets like, well, Greyshot, of course, it just went through the person's mouth. No, this person's fine.
Yeah, the person's perfectly
fine. This person
fine.
was talking like normal, and then all of a sudden they go in the cardiac arrest.
This guy, like I mentioned, is in a wheelchair normally. He can't feel his legs, which is why the creature can suck on it. He basically eat his leg, essentially.
Yeah.
The problem I make note is, don't you think the guy might have realized how heavy he was?
Yeah.
And say, I'm suddenly heavier.
Yeah. Man, I feel like Ryan Reynolds... Oh, by the way, Ryan Reynolds is the first to die in this film.
Yeah, which I actually kind of liked.
I like that, but again, it's like... I love the director, which I kind of read up on a little bit, was like, I wanted to go anti-horror as much as possible. And I'm like, you killed off the funny character first. That's horror trope number one.
Yeah. Also, you have the dark ending, which makes, like, this... Again,
oh, yeah, dark ending. That makes no sense. Like, it's on Earth. But it's like... You see a picture of Ryan Reynolds, and I swear to God, there's like a cut above his head, like right here. So I swear, it's like it was sucking his brain fluid or something, but he's talking fine. But it's like, why didn't it kill Ryan Reynolds? It killed everything else. Not Ryan Reynolds, sorry. Jake Gyllenhaal. Why didn't it kill Jake Gyllenhaal and everything else? But then somehow goes down to space. By the way, it didn't even look like it was in there. It looked like it just transferred itself to goo.
Yeah.
Like, it's not goo form. It knows it's going back to Earth. And it's like, how smart is this thing that apparently it's smart enough to, once again, fly down to Earth, but it can't open a door or work other contraptions, and it can't figure out how to...
Again, the major problem I have with this movie is it doesn't know what this creature is. Is it a blob? Can it eat anything? Or is it a creature?
Is it invulnerable? It's God.
Basically, yeah. It survives extreme cold, extreme heat. Alien, the original, like, again, the reason why I go, you can shoot it. Yes, it has acid blood, but that's a self-defense mechanism.
This is a deadly creature. This has rules to it. Hi. We can understand, like, okay, this is a cat.
For instance, yeah, exactly. It's like, if this thing was the quote apex predator of Mars.
Yes. Apex Predator right here, by the way.
No, not Tally. The creature. It's like... So this thing evolved to develop from single-celled organisms.
Yes.
Evolved to survive extreme heat, extreme cold.
Yep.
Extreme... The vacuum of
Toxicity.
space.
Toxicity from the coolant.
Which, by the way, the vacuum of space,
yep.
I hope you know, would literally rip you... Like, all your oxygen would go. You'd be out cold in, like, a few seconds. It's not like the...
This isn't Saitama where he does this and he's fine. And he gets
He's
back.
strong enough to hold out. No,
yeah.
no, you would be out.
Yeah.
This thing... Again, no creature on the planet can survive in space. Yet this thing can? Why? What development? What, like...
Yeah.
It literally is a creature that they created to fit in any
so
situation. Which, by the way, is also
yeah.
looks like the Muto from Godzilla. Its head is basically
Oh,
Muto.
yeah. It turns into a fucking Muto from Godzilla. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I know this from somewhere. And you brought it up. I'm like, holy
It's
shit.
the Muto.
It's a Muto.
It's the design, the wings. Like,
yeah, it's just blue. That's it. It has wings. It has like the long
Tentacles.
arms, tentacles, a little bit more shapy. The head design's exactly the same. And I'm just looking there. I'm like, holy God, you're right. Also, the size of this thing keeps changing. Like sometimes it's like really tiny, and then sometimes it gets really big. But it's like they keep showing like size perspective as it's like getting closer and closer. But it seems like it's getting smaller and smaller. Like there's points where like there's one point where it's chasing Jake Gyllenhaal in a scene. And it's tiny. It's so small that it can go over like a tiny flare.
Like a thing you can hold in your hand.
Yes. But then it like...
It's big enough to rival him in the final shot.
It's bigger than him. Because it covers the whole pod. And I'm like, what are we doing here exactly?
So again, this movie... Again, if we actually found life on another planet...
Yeah.
There are plenty of other movies that do it far better. And even with darker. Like, again, like... Or even, like... Better execution, better
yeah, by the way,
writing.
It's not that this... Oh, also, this is not a Venom film. This is not
Yeah, this is... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was a rumor going around this was Venom. No. That would be hilarious if that was Venom.
That would be great marketing.
Yeah.
That would have been like... If they would have called it Life and then had it basically be a stealth movie into, like...
Yeah. That, again, they're supposed to be launching this, was it Venom movie next year? This could have been a great prequel, but...
And like it being a symbiote, like if it controlling someone and going after them.
That would have been awesome. But again, it's like they have no rules for this thing. They don't. And again, it's like, well, Greyshot and everything needs to be explained. That doesn't. Okay, whatever. But if you're going to keep adding all this bullshit, then explain what the fuck. Because they've been studying it for, again,
weeks.
Supposedly nearly a month. And apparently, it like suddenly is like instant everything amazing. It's
again,
like,
if you have again. There is a reason why there's something to fear, and there's something... Again, this is a horror movie monster in the fact that you can't kill it.
Yeah.
Literally, they shoot fire... Again, I make note like this. Electricity, fire, everything
freeze,
that... Yeah,
coolant.
it's like... There is...
Coolant, which, again, this is coolant for the International Space System jump jets.
Toxic to most...
Also, thrusters. The thrusters on a goddamn rocket.
They fire it, and it doesn't react.
Yeah.
It just holds on, and then just goes away. It's like... Okay, this thing isn't a creature anymore. This thing is basically... You're fighting, basically...
It's God.
It's God. Yeah, it's like...
There you go.
You can't kill it. It is a horror movie, but the fact that, like most, like, Jason, Freddy Krueger, you just can't kill it.
But the problem is they keep using science to be like, it does this, it does this. I'm like...
Science doesn't explain that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you could take any creature on Earth, and you could put it in that same environment, and you could go to Australia, you can go to all these different types.
And by the way,
I understand it's a different planet.
Yeah, it's Mars.
It's Mars, but I'm sorry. Mars life can survive in the vacuum of space. Hundreds of, like, pure fire, electricity.
They also showed that literally it took, 20 degrees Celsius to have a reaction, plus, like, a bunch of other stuff. Oh, yeah.
My biggest complaint...
So it did have issues with coal.
It was my last... And my biggest problem with this movie is they make the point in the very beginning that this thing can only survive in Cretaceous level. Like, they add... like the environment they make is like, oh yeah, this environment isn't on Earth anymore.
This is like old Earth.
This is like super old Earth. And it's like, that would make sense because Mars was like... I mean, it was hundreds of millions of years old.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, maybe that doesn't make sense because they're two different... Okay, scratch what I just said.
A different environment.
A different environment,
yes.
The movie, I think, would have been... what would have ended this movie great is this isn't a copy of War of the Worlds, but just having this thing experience Earth and just freak the hell out.
Just 2 minutes of this thing on Earth, and like in it everyone's like, oh no, don't like get the earth, don't get the earth. It gets the earth
and it
dies, or
it gets eaten by a shark or something. Like the reason why because this whole movie
remember
is
it took thrusters.
Life is violent, and they keep making all these notes. But I would have just loved that this thing again escapes, like it leaves him alive because it's like it looks out, sees, it opens hatch because apparently this thing is smart enough to do that.
Yeah.
It opens hatch, looks outside, and it just like screams like from the sun. It looks again.
This thing is smart enough.
Goes in the water and screams because it's salt water.
Yeah.
Like most creatures have to adapt to it, or maybe like this thing. I wish they would have a reaction like that. It goes in the water, it screams, jumps on top of the pod, and then just like is screaming and like going nuts, and then starts like breathing problems.
Yeah.
Like because it's a different environment. You wouldn't take us
because the whole point of this film was like fuck you Earth, and then it's like this thing is God. Sure.
Earth is doomed.
Yeah, Earth is doomed. Like, and it's just like, again, if you're trying to make the idea that life is brutal, don't make the thing
life dies. That's the whole point of life. Death.
This thing wasn't life. This thing was God. Like if we're going as scientific as possible, this thing was God, and they showed
no weakness.
No weakness. No.
It was the perfect creature.
System. It's the perfect creature, the perfect living organism that we should all strive to be, and it is. It's not even like hurtable.
Yeah, I'm a guy that likes kaiju movies, like giant monsters. But even Godzilla has rules. But even Godzilla dies. Even Godzilla has suffers oh, you have too much radiation, you die. You can get if you get shot and your brain gets hit, you die. Even this perfect organism, quote unquote, for dies. Also, and that's what this movie was lacking.
The humans are too stupid, and the monster is too fucking OP. This isn't One Punch Man. This isn't. This creature should not be this strong for the environment, and then also just be the people being stupid with how they do it.
Here, I think we've gone on our rant long enough.
I think this is awesome because we talk about it in the car, but now that we're doing this, I'm like, holy mackerel, did this movie just bomb at the second half? Because I was enjoying it the first half, and it was
good. Great characters. There's some nice comedic moments.
Yeah,
but yeah.
As soon as the second death is where this thing just falls flat. It just goes
that moment
down.
after.
Yeah, as soon as that death occurs, this movie just shoots itself and just never recovers.
Again, if they would have done okay. That's all I'm going to say about Lifeless. It doesn't deserve my time anymore. So, and I'm probably
I've been enjoying it. Yeah, this is not a film I will remember, and this is certainly a film I'm just like
if you want a good monster movie you want to see in the past, go see The Shallows.
Okay, and
I'm saying a monster movie.
If you want to go see a good alien movie, go see Alien. Or if you want to go see a more recent Alien, I'm thinking of
Alien Covenant is coming up. They showed the trailer, and now thinking about it, it's this life just took basically just shot itself at the finish line, and
that's so hilarious because this thing was literally going to compete with Alien.
I guarantee Alien Covenant's probably going to be better. I find I don't like. Okay, I'm gonna sound very horrible right now. I'm not the biggest fan of the Alien franchise. I like the idea of the creature, but I'm not the biggest fan of the
franchise. Alien and Aliens. I don't like Alien 3 or Resurrection. I like a little bit of AVP, don't like 2, and then I enjoy
Prometheus.
And I've enjoyed Alien Isolation, stuff like that. Prometheus I couldn't care about. I thought it was just over dramatic. Anyway, with not enough action.
So in any case, this Lifeless movie, basically, that's our full review. Spoilers and all. Hope you guys enjoyed, or guys, gals, whatever creature sees this movie.
Yeah, apparently it's God. Yeah. So,
go watch God in action. That's why it's called Life, because God shows up and apparently is
No, it's not life. It's just God. There's no rational.
It doesn't die.
Yep. Yeah. It can't be hurt, can't be killed, can't even be so smart. It can't be reasoned with or anything along those lines. But again, it can fly a rocket and possibly suck people's brains, which they never go into or something. I don't know. It makes no sense. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys next time.